And it's imperative that we come out here and do the work, man. Regardless of the weather, in season and out of season. You know? But we are all worthy of death. We're all worthy to be put to death in these last days. We're all sinners. Sinful society. But Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, saw fit to give his only begotten Son, that 1/3 of us will have a chance at redemption. That 1/3 of us will have a chance at salvation to escape the destruction that's coming. So with that being said, I'm going to go into what I was just speaking on. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So that's the so-called white man. They're speaking about him right here, man. So, again, this just bears witness to what I've been telling you is the truth. Scriptures are the final word. Scriptures have the last say. And the scriptures say, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Who are the terrible? The terrible are the ones who are in power. The haughty are the ones who are in power. The proud. The Edomites, those who have power. That's the proud. They are the terrible. Look at how they rule the planet Earth. Look at how they rule over the masses of the people. You know? They rule with fierceness and terribleness. Through their corporations, well, this military-industrial complex, which the white D. which the white D. Eisenhower spoke against, or warned America about. That's what we are dealing with here in these last days. You are witnessing the military-industrial complex in its full glory. Because these corporations are behind the military and pull the strings of the military. You know, a lot of times, well, a lot of the conflict in the Middle East, a lot of what took place when you talk about Venezuela, with all them people that died, man. Who was that spoke about that? I believe he goes by the pseudonym John Smith. Spoke on that. He was a part of the CIA. Spoke on the atrocities that took place of the Venezuelans. Panama deception. Not Venezuela, but the Panama deception. The atrocities that took place was just to test out new weapons. And that's what you have. You have these huge corporations that are these huge corporations. America's gonna be destroyed real soon. Time is up for America. It's a sinful city and the Lord is gonna destroy it. It happened with Sodom and Gomorrah. America is not any different. So, you have these big corporations like Lockheed Martin. You got Boeing, and they'll develop these weapons. They'll take out these huge billion-dollar contracts to develop weapons, and they'll give them to the military, and the military will start these conflicts just to test these weapons. That's what Eisenhower was warning the people about, the military-industrial complex. You know, that's what we have today. A lot of the conflict in the Middle East is just to test these weapons. And people are losing their lives, you know, just because these greedy individuals at the top, the so-called white man, wants to make money. And that's pretty much it. You know, and then, of course, you know, for the bankers, the elite, these international bankers at the top, they get the benefit of the natural resources of these lands and whatnot. But at the same time, you got, you know, these companies like GE. GE is one of the main ones. GE is a weapons developer. You know, they'll take out these huge grants or contracts for the military to build these weapons, design these weapons. Then of course, man, and that's why, you know, even with a nigga that get a gun, eventually he gonna want to use it. And now there's no shooting range. You know, you take the time to develop the skills and all that, eventually you're going to want to put it to the test or use it. That's why, you know, it's such a dangerous situation here in America. But back to what I was saying, man, they develop these high-tech weapons. You think they developing them just to sit on the shelf and collect dust? No, they're developing them to use them. They're going to want to test it. Man, and in the Panama deception, the ex-CIA guy, which he was labeled a economic hitman for the CIA. And I believe he went by the pseudonym of John Smith. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
I'm just interested in what you're talking about. I'm reading through Genesis right now.
I'm talking about, yeah, the Bible,
all
the
right.
truth of the Bible.
The truth of the Bible.
Yeah, because you got all different kind of doctrines out there,
yeah.
But then there's the doctrine of truth.
Yeah.
And the doctrine of truth.
What is the truth, though?
The truth is, you know, well, I can't give it to you by earshot. You have to learn over time. Yeah, and he comes in the volume of this book. You know that, right? I'm coming in the volume of the book. But you got false prophets out there that tell lies and teach lies on this book.
That's very true.
And see, if you'd have came out here earlier, you would have known, because I went through the scriptures.
Okay.
The Lord say his sheep hear his voice, and the stranger they will not follow.
That's right.
So it's a gift from the Heavenly Father to be able
Holy Spirit.
Right. To be able to discern the truth. Exactly. Right. So it's a gift.
What's the emphasis on the 12 tribes?
That's the truth. And the truth is, the Lord is not coming back to deliver everybody. He's coming back to deliver 1/3 of this nation. And I just got to read that. You can find that in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, starting in verse 8 and 9. It tells you that. You know,
God is coming back. Jesus is coming back for 3 tribes.
No. All 12 tribes.
All 12 tribes.
But 1/3 of the nation in total. 2/3 are going to be destroyed. And then
Israel is going to be destroyed.
2/3 are going to be destroyed by the destruction that's coming. So the Lord is coming back to judge. Now, these nations, other nations here, a portion are going to be destroyed, and then the rest of them, they're going to be in captivity. Because the Lord is coming to establish his kingdom.
So let me ask you this. Are you Jesus Christ and people being saved?
I'm preaching Yahweh Shai, which is the true name for Jesus, Yahweh Shai,
Right. Okay.
the Messiah.
Okay.
Yahweh Shai just
Trusting in
means,
him.
Yahweh Shai just means he
Trusting in him as Lord. Right? Trusting in Jesus as Lord.
Well, Yahweh Shai.
That's what I call my Savior.
Paul,
And my Savior and my Lord.
starting at John 4 and 22, and around the 23rd verse, it says, they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
That's right.
So,
there's only one way to do that.
You have to know his name in spirit and in truth.
The Bible doesn't say that.
I just gave you the scripture.
And the truth of the matter,
right,
is,
truth of the matter his name is Yahushua Mashiach.
Is we're gonna call Jesus different names if we speak in different language. I don't speak Hebrew or Greek or Aramaic.
I'm gonna speak in fluent.
But it's not necessary those languages to know the person.
No, you don't have to speak the language.
And I don't have to say his name a certain way. I don't have to know.
What's your name?
My name?
Yeah, what's your name?
I have many different names. You can call me Omari. You can call me Bill. You can call me Mr. Dawson. You can call me Son. You know, some people call me Daddy, right?
But that's not, that is not a name.
But check this out, though.
That is not.
They can call me Daddy.
But I can't call you James.
And I still love them the same.
If you across the street and I'm hollering James, you gonna keep on the walk.
If I call my Savior Lord, I don't have to say his name because we have a relationship. Just like my children have a relationship with
Lord.
He knows me. He knows me. And I know him. And so when I'm calling him Lord, he knows I'm talking to him.
Well, that's the thing. With Doctrine, you don't
I follow to the left. To the left.
But, okay, what's your nationality?
My nationality?
Yeah.
I was born in this country. But I'm a descendant of Indians, white, and black. But you know what? It doesn't really matter because I have a relationship with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords that created heaven and earth.
St. John chapter 4, verse 23. Well, matter of fact, just for you, I'm going to start at 22. St. John chapter 4, verse 22. It says, ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. And that goes to all 12 tribes. Salvation is for the nation of Israel. And this is the Lord speaking. It says,
what chapter is this we're Mark?
I'm in the book of John, chapter 4, verse 22. And he said, this is the Lord speaking. He says, the salvation is of the Jews. And this is verse 22.
Alright.
But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So, and the truth of the matter is, he has a name, and the elect, or his servants, are going to be calling on that. Go to Hosea chapter 1, around the 9th verse. It says we will be calling on his name. I'm going to read that for you.
It says, in my Bible, it says, for salvation is from the Jews.
Salvation
is from the Jews. Alright, so check this out. That's a very, well, in my translation, New American Standard Version, it says from the Jews. Alright, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you.
But you got to read the King James, man.
Alright, I'm going to switch it to the King James, see what it says.
You got to read the King James.
Even still, let me switch it. You know what, man? I only had a new King James. Does that count?
You got to be careful with these
new translations. Alright, so let me explain to you why it's from the Jews. Because when Abraham was given a promise, God said, through your seed, all the nations are going to be blessed. So through Jesus, all nations are blessed. All nationalities. I don't care where you were born, who your ancestors are. You are blessed. You are blessed because of the grace that God has shown to this world, and also you have an opportunity regardless of what color you are, what race you are, what sex you are. You have an opportunity to know God
Okay.
and have salvation.
Let me explain that.
Right.
Let me explain that when it says that all the nations of the world will be blessed.
And it's
When
no
the
doubt.
kingdom of Israel is established, all nations will be blessed. But that's not saying that they're going to receive salvation. And if you know, like Israel is going to
Throughout the scriptures, hold on. Throughout the scriptures, it says all that call upon the name of the Lord will be saved.
You just explained why you got to know the name. You just explained it. So that's why you got to know the name.
But like I broke it down to you, I can call Christ, Messiah. Some people call him Isa, right? Some people call him a different name. We all have different names that we call people.
They can call on it.
We call them different languages.
Right.
And just like my children don't have to address me by my former name. I'm a child of God. I don't have to address him by a name that's all these people are saying, you gotta call him by this name, that name, this name. You know, Jehovah's Witness say, hey, you gotta call Jehovah. You can't just call him God, you gotta call him Jehovah. But what I'm saying is this. I have children. They not to call me by my former name for me to respond to. They say daddy. I say Lord. I say God, the creator of heaven and earth. You know who I'm talking to.
And we call Abba, which means Father.
And I say God.
But
I say Father. I say Father. I say God.
Our name is going to be the same as Spanish, German.
Like I said, I say Father. Father is a different, it's said a different way in different languages. Right?
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, don't get caught up on the name. When we talk about worshiping the Father in spirit and truth, God is spirit and truth. It's talking about love. It's talking about letting God's spirit come in us.
What is love? Tell me
God
what
is love. God is love. And the only way according to the scripture, God is love. And the only way for us to truly love is to have God come and work through you. His spirit to work through you to love like you love. Unconditional.
Okay.
Without condition. Sacrificial.
This is 2 John.
It's better to read it from
So this is the one I want to read how to show or express love.
It's a lot of
2 John, 6th verse, because it's only one chapter. It said, and this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it.
Yeah.
So love is keeping it. So you agree. So we have a commandment also, you know, for us to worship in the spirit and in truth. And with that, his name must be called.
1 second. It ain't no coincidence when I walk out the door.
No, nothing is, I don't believe it.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Not really.
That's why I say